Hello everyone and welcome to AMAtv presented by Greg's Garage. I'm Greg White. As you well know, the riding season is upon us and we want to talk with you about riding in the heat of the season. I've been a victim of dehydration on a long street ride one time and I can tell you it wasn't fun dealing with it the next couple of days after. I was really sick. So with that in mind, welcome to the show from the American Motorcyclist Association, Chris Harrison. Hey Chris, how are you?
Hey Greg, how are you doing today?
I'm doing real well. Now Chris is a recreational riding manager at the AMA. So Chris, let's talk about riding in the heat and how you manage all that stuff.
Well, I just have a couple of suggestions about riding in the heat. And first of all, like you just mentioned, you said you were a victim of dehydration. So I'd want to say one of those first tips for everyone out there, just make sure you're hydrating, drinking plenty of fluids when you are at your stops. A method I'd like to take into consideration is one where when one stop, I'll just down just plain water, one of those pint bottles or something like that. And then probably the next couple of stops, I'd probably try to hydrate with some type of sports drink, Gatorade, Powerade, whatever it is that you really like to use. But at the same time, you still want to go back to drinking water. There is no substitute for good old H2O.
Yeah, there's no question about it. In my particular situation, I was riding in the desert and I had on riding gear that wasn't really appropriate. It was at no ventilation and it was literally 122 degrees because I was on a Goldwing and I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and just didn't want to stop because I wanted to get back. And I did stop when I stopped for gas and drank, but it just wasn't enough. And I think that was part of the downfall.
Greg, that's one of the great things. I'm so glad that you were sharing your experience. So that'll kind of help critique for some of those other folks that are out there. Generally, when people are actually out there on a long trip, one of those things that they want to do, they want to just continue on until they get to the destination. Well, doing that, that's a good idea. But at the same time, if you're not wearing the right type of outer garment, that's going to be something that's actually going to work against you, because a lot of guys would like to cut their t-shirt off or cut the sleeves off or something like that and get more exposed skin. Well, as your skin is getting exposed to that heat of the sun, it's also evaporating very quickly. So your body is not getting the opportunity to cool you down. So you're going to try to sweat more to try to get more fluid on the surface of your skin, and at the same time that heat and the wind of you moving down the road is just drying it up. So one of the suggestions that I have is you always want to try to wear something that covers your exposed skin. So I'm recommending wearing a long sleeve shirt of some type of microfiber type, some of the new manufacturers out there with some of the new fabrics that will actually come down, some type of wicking material, because it actually absorbs the moisture away from your skin, but at the same time it offers a cooling effect as the air actually hits it. Those actually work absolutely great. And then the other suggestion that I would have to you, I know there's going to be a lot of riders out there that have different tastes here, but I'm going to suggest having some type of covering for your face. Me personally, I would like to wear a modular helmet, and again with the good ventilation holes in the top there, because again, you want to make sure that you're shielding yourself from the sun, but at the same time you want the air to do the majority of the work for you. So with that helmet being on, with the actual ventilation that's going on, the actual cooling of the evaporating of the wicking material that's inside the helmet would help you out a lot.
Cool. Anything else you'd like to add really about riding in this extreme heat, because it is quite a warm summer already?
Right. So I would say a lot of times for some folks, it all depends on where you're going. So let's say you need to cross some type of really open area. Let's say like Utah, maybe like Death Valley, somewhere in California, places in Arizona. You might want to just change up your routine, change your mindset. And by that, I mean, if you're going to be resting somewhere at a hotel and that it's going to be 112 degrees as you're trying to cross Death Valley, why don't you stay at your hotel room or stay wherever you are and try to venture out when the sun is not the hottest? In other words, do some reverse training or do some reverse riding. Ride a little bit later on in the evening when the heat of the day is not going to be pounding down on you or that great machine that you're riding.
Thanks, Chris. Great information. So this is part of what we do. Connect you to those who ride and fight for your right to ride. and your membership helps to keep us going, and it gives you a voice. So, join the AMA now. You can visit AmericanMotorcyclist.com or call 1-800-262-5646. The AMA exists to protect your freedom to ride and race.